Thank you. We're privileged to have the President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands, Bishop Rochus Tatamai. President, what is the theme of the annual Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands?
Thank you, Peter, and thank you also to our listeners and our viewers. The annual general meeting is an annual activity. Always happen after the Easter Sunday, especially the Catholic Church. We have the Divine Mercy Sunday. That's the second Sunday of Easter. That's the time where we come in after the time to have our annual gathering, and that's an opportunity for us to gather as bishops. I think first and foremost to give support to one another, to understand the issues that confront us in our ministry. And also provides a platform and a forum to be able to have a common consensus on issues affecting our people in the front of the pastoral work as much as the delivery of our services. So this year, coincidentally, is the 60th annual general meeting. So it can give you a bit of a sense that we've been consistently having this for the last 60 years. And so this year our focus is again on the lay people, or the majority of the Catholic population, the baptized, who are not priests or not religious. And so that includes everybody that we have as Catholics, baptized Catholics. And the theme is really for our lay people to understand that the call to holiness in today's world is a call for all of us. In a sense, what we are saying is that holiness is not for some only. Life of holiness is for everybody. The fact that you are a baptized Christian, and in this matter you're a Catholic, it is the first call to holiness, to be godly in our lives, in the way we think, the way we behave, and the way we also contributing towards development. All this has to be inspired by the fact that we are God's children. We are sharing God's life in our lives and participating in the life of the Holy Trinity. And in this participation, we are called upon to be godly in the way we relate with each other, because the life of the Trinity is about relationships. The relationships we experience in family life, the husband, the wife, how they care for each other, how they support each other, how they pass on life to the children, and not only the physical life, but they have also the spiritual life to worry about. At the same time, to bring them up, educating them, giving them good health, talk about all the human rights and the dignity of the human person. All of this comes on. So when you fulfill these responsibilities, you are actually living a life of holiness by seeking to fulfill this according to God's plan. And God's plan is invitation to living life to the full, which is based on the truth, based on values like justice, kindness, sharing, and in fact recognizing that we are all equal in God's eyes. So the holiness that we would like to emphasize for our lay people is not so much that they are taking part in the church, the life of the church. That's one aspect. But the most important aspect of this is getting involved in the world, because the lay people are present everywhere in the world. In all sectors of society, strata of society, they are there. And that's where you are called upon to give witness, especially in your small ways, when you have to build up team spirit in your workplace, when you are able to be including everybody, inclusivity. We talk about being just, to spot that there are some evil elements coming into our operations, be it in the way we conduct business or the way we conduct our workplace, in all aspects, whether it be the private citizens or leadership, tasked with some of the leadership. All of these are called upon for you to always be conscious of the soul that directs your mind, directs your heart. And every one of us feels that this life that we are living is God's life, and the much we can do is to help others to experience and live this life to the full. So this theme on the call to holiness in today's world is really encouraging our people to live beyond just living ordinary lives, but at the same time to be extraordinary in that sense that you are open to the life that you are living, and it is allowing God's Spirit to direct you, to direct us, to empower us, so that all the time at the end we become aware of the human dignity that we all share, and we all help one another to improve. And I think these are some of the aspects of this that calls for us to attention, as the violence that we need to reduce. We need to put a stop to it. The care of our children, the protection and the care of the minors, the little children, the young people, how we include them, how we build up the capacities. So a lot of this can be done in the families, in the communities, and this is where our people are. And so all we are saying is that we become more collaborators with God, because after all the life that we are living is His, and He gives to us to be able to empower others and to encourage others to also realize their full potential. So in the leadership of the bishops, we always talk about we have a ministry of unity. That means we unite everybody, and we kind of call upon everybody to move in that direction. So this time we are calling upon our lay people just not live life as mere living it, but living the fruits of it insofar as you're making a contribution to making a better world, a better place. So stewardship comes in, and also become co-creators. We are called upon to to be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. But in doing so, we call upon to be responsible. So we have some key words that we are emphasizing these days about taking responsibility, being accountable, and also be transparent. So these are some of the key aspects of what we say when we become holy. We take those responsibilities. We become accountable to the life that we are living, but we also become transparent in the sense that we are being who we are in the eyes of each other, being honest with each other, truthful with each other, but also knowing that we are called upon by God to be co-creators, collaborators, making this world a better place to stay in, and also leaving it for the others to come up later on to find this place also a better place. So this is it ties in a lot of aspects of that journey that we enjoy.
Bishop, the challenge of the local church of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands. What is the way forward from the Bishops' Conference to address those challenges?
For our structure of conducting meetings, we do have the three main committees in our way of participating in the discussions, the reports, the debates, and of course we come to resolutions and recommendations. There is the committee for formation that talks about all the institutions that runs education and formation. So a big part of that is education itself. With that we have the Christian education as one of the aspects of that, which is specifically on faith formation of our people. We have the Melanesian Institute, the White Man University comes in, social communications comes in, and these are areas in the seminaries. These are the areas where we all look at formation as such. How do we build up the capacities of people as human resources, but also as Christians? How do we respond? The other committees is mission, is how we actually continue to have witness in the work of evangelization. And then the other committee is focusing on integral human development. So health falls in that area. I think for formation, with the two aspects, especially with education and health, they constantly come back to the Bishops' Conference in our discussions, because this is where we are in partnership with government. Government supports us in delivering these services, especially health and education. And however, there is always the sticking points. We've been talking about how to properly improve the delivery of services, and most of the time it comes back, and this is I think some of the bishops are getting sick and tired of saying that this partnership we continue to talk about, it doesn't, maybe it doesn't mean the same things between government and church when it comes to partnership. So for as long as we can remember, some of us, I think I'm now in the conference for the last 13, 14, will be 14 years now, and this has been the discussion coming through. Every year we come up, we talk about partnership between government and the church, Catholic Church in this case. We do note and acknowledge that we have a big presence insofar as education in all, from the university down to the primary schools and the kindergartens that we have in our rural areas and dioceses. And constantly we have the issues that come up. But TFF again was another issue that we have to readdress again now. As I'm talking, we are still preparing our statements to address this as key issues, which are going to become covered as a way to reminding government again. I think both health and education, the same issues are coming through. Insofar as TFF is concerned, we are recommending that all monies have to go back to the schools, 100% of the monies. We don't have any confidence, and we are not trusting the fact that there has been some interference in dividing this TFF to commodity components and to the infrastructure aspect of it. So it was 100% to the schools. They know better what they need, and in fact, when they were doing this in the earlier part of this policy and program, schools were able to have some what you may call monies that they can be able to start the year with, because they were in total control of what they can do, and then they can be able to budget to be able to start the year properly. And they were doing that very well until they came to introduce the commodity component. Some of the materials are coming very late and also poor quality, and teachers hardly can use them, and sometimes it's so expensive to even deliver them. I think most of the money was falling onto the operations of it. Again, it was becoming late paid, and again decrease in the amounts. So what we actually experience is when the monies are coming, you have to settle your service providers from the previous term, and there was creating confusion. So it's very, very difficult to monitor that. And then of course the other aspect for what you call infrastructure development was supposed to be going to the districts, and that's it. That was the last of it. You heard of it. There was no proper mechanisms in place to ensure that this was happening. So in a sense, we talk about systems and systemic ways of corrupting these systems. This is how we do it best. We have the procedures to be able to deliver services simply and directly, but we put in systems just to corrupt the whole thing, and so our service delivery is very poor. So this has been a concern for education as much as what we have with health. Health also suffered for all our, and yet publicly is this known that the Catholic Church delivers 40% of health services throughout the country and supports government in that. But unfortunately, we are left alone to struggle to ensure. We have families that last year that have to go to Christmas without any pay, and dioceses have to look for monies how to help these families to continue to deliver service, but for their own sake, to have a bit of celebration for Christmas and for the New Year. And government knows, and everybody knows that we are the last people to withdraw our services, and we keep on making the commitment that even though the monies are not coming, we still have to do this on human grounds and for humanitarian concerns. We have to continue, but these are families. They also deserve justice. We need to be generous with them and also be committed to them. This is part of the package. So at this time, we are now seriously looking at this whole term of partnership. Should we continue with partnership, or now we are saying let us enter into a contractual arrangement, so that we enter with the government a contract, so that we contract us to be able to deliver this on time, and we will be accountable for what we are doing. But it's no longer a partnership now. It's beyond a contractual basis, because with contracts, we all know from our work in the diocese, if you have to contract the construction to contract them to build a house, you have to pay them to be able to finish the project. If not, they just leave the place. So I think we need to have a relook at this, and seriously we are looking at this kind of arrangement so that we do hold each other accountable and responsible. So I think we've seen the daylight of partnership, and it's just an abuse partnership. We are saying that it's like a marriage. You need two parties to be contributing towards the marriage, and if one is not contributing, either one partner shuts down, and then there's the beginning of problems, and eventually sometimes we're finding ourselves, the usual term I've been using already, this marriage is not working, and sometimes we are living in a very irregular relationship in this partnership, and sometimes we find ourselves to be a deserted partner, and sometimes we find ourselves the widow without a husband in this whole relationship. So it means that you have to do it on your own and look for resources how to fulfill your responsibility, but this is not a fair way of seeing partnership. Partnership, it has to involve the two, commitments has to be the same, and we have to be serious about what we are doing. But at the end of the day, it's not about church, it's not about the dioceses, it's about the very people that we are serving. And if it's not coming to them, then we owe it to them. So we have our existence is so much justified by the way these people are benefiting from our existence. And so government and church, we all owe it to the people, and so we have an equal responsibility. So this is the way we would like to call upon ourselves. Let us enter to partnerships that is healthy, workable, and also that we feel part of it. I would point out quickly that a lot of the revisions, it comes to policies. Now we have the review on the Education Act. A lot of it has been done without the contribution of the churches. And I'm talking about not only the Catholic Church, but we have also the Mission Education Secretariat that looks after all our secretaries who regulates education in this matter. We come out to deliver, but we never made a contribution towards the policies. Now, this is not a good partnership. We have to be there, and we need to be also taken seriously, and also be involved in the process of planning, so that this policy comes out. When it comes to delivery, we can recognize that this is what we've decided to come together and do it. So we did some very serious discussions around this, and I think there is a level of maturity also coming into this, that we cannot continue to just move along and sit back. We have to do some drastic interventions to improve what we are claiming that we are doing.
Bishop Rochus Tatamai, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands. In the looming vote of no confidence.
With the looming vote of no confidence that as Papua New Guineans, as citizens, this concerns all of us. It's we are all involved in this. It's not question that you are a church and government, or you belong to this particular political party, or all these divisions. At the end of the day, we are all citizens of this country, and the decisions of as citizens of this country, we are all given the same responsibilities to ensure that when we took independence in 1975, we would like to do it right by our people, in the sense that we have to ensure that we take charge of self-determination for our nation, but at the same time also to ensure that all those principles that we put out to uphold, and with our constitution, it's all based on Christian principles. And I think we may no fuss about it. It's obvious, we are all saying this, but the challenge is that how can we actually make real these values that we call as Christian principles. Our country is based on Christian principles. We're a Christian country. I think importantly for now to think is the common good of all. And the common good of all challenges our selfishness, our egoistic agendas. We need to be more people-oriented and people-centered as leaders. And this is what we have to realize once more. As mandated leaders, politicians, you are mandated. The citizen gives you his mandate for you to speak on his behalf and to make good laws to ensure that there is equal participation, equal distribution of the resources that are there. This is what the population sacrificed when they gave over their trust and confidence when they mandated a leader to go there. And so far we've been so rhetoric about it. We've been mandated to do this. But we go in there with that mandate, we do things according to our own wish, our own agendas, to our own political whims. This is not the right way to go. We have to be trustworthy of the mandate we receive from our people to go in there, and the first responsibility of politicians is making good laws for this country. It's not about grandstanding of opening classrooms and hospitals. That's not the big part of it. It's a small part of it, but somehow we make this as the major thing. The big part of it is to sit down in Parliament and make good laws. You are a legislator, and legislators, we say that it's discouraging to hear a politician say we have no laws for this. Hey, you cannot say that there is no law for this. That's why you are being elected to go in there to make laws for those laws that are not there. And if these laws are out of date, update them, make them relevant, and it has to be pro the benefit of our people. I think so far we have been just riding along with laws that are totally inconveniencing, and it's really unfair. Our people are being disadvantaged by it, and I think this is not right. Something has to happen. So with the looming vote of no confidence, the call again to all the members, you receive a mandate from the people. What are you going to exchange for that mandate given to you? There is no room for bribery in this, because there's an exchange of trust. That the poor citizen is saying, I cannot be there, but I'll give you my mandate to go there and you talk on my behalf and ensure, legislate for this and that, as much as protection of my life, of my properties, and the resources that we have. And once you be able to do this, there should be no more rooms for playing games with bribery and money sifting and horse trading. This is not going to be any room for that. Once we say, hey, I have a mandate from these people and I have to honor them. This has been entrusted with trust, but unfortunately, this has continually been abused. And our people also have to understand this, that when they give the mandate, it's the most precious thing that they give to a member, to go there and to insist, we would like you to go in there and make good laws. Defend us. Make sure. I kept on telling our people now, if some politician come and says, I'll build you classrooms and build you hospitals and make you roads, you said, sorry, that's already part of the package. You cannot campaign on that. You tell me what good laws you're going to make that will help me to have my country safe. The harvesting of resources is going to favor the landowners, and we have to benefit from all this. So it's all to do with legislations. And I think this is the most important part of it. Apart from it is good governance. We're seeing this not happening. And hopefully, I'm challenging all our politicians, our members of parliament, to say, let us look beyond our political lines and look at what's the good benefit for all our people and the common good for all. I think for too long we've been using our people when we need them, and we drop them on the side when we do not need them. And this is not fair. I think our people need a fair and committed leaders in which by the time you come to campaign, they give you the trust in the mandate you to go there. And with our LPV system, everybody has to give their choices and their preferential voting. So you are touched by that. So when you come to deliver this, everybody has to benefit from that. So you're not going to favor anybody. So we need to rethink and relook again. So I think shake up, wake up. You cannot use only rhetoric for this. It has to be real, and it is to be the pain of our people that has to determine where the commitment has to go and where the vote has to go.
Bishop, what would be your prayer for the leaders of our country, Papua New Guinea?
In this particular moment in our history, when we find ourselves in a searching time in terms of leadership, and also for our nation, I would like to pray and commit once again all our people in Papua New Guinea in particular. That all our 4 regions, with all the resources that we have and the beauty of creation that we have, Papua New Guinea has been blessed in a very particular way in all this time. And so for us to once again have that grateful heart, thanking God for giving us a beautiful country with all the many islands, the mountains, the seas, and the resources that are within, that all these have to become to us as blessings, and upon these blessings we are called upon to be stewards of these resources, benefiting from them now and be responsible in how we harvest them, so that we can leave this place a better place for the future generations to come. I pray and commit all our leaders, political leaders, church leaders, community leaders, in all levels of our society, that through the Spirit of God, the Spirit that gives us enlightenment to know the truth, to know the wisdom, and to make those commitments that are influenced by love and promotion of the common good based on justice for all, will be the one that drives us in our decision making. Bless us all to support each other, to challenge each other in a more healthy way, to drawing the best out of everybody, so we can contribute all our talents, skills, and resources for the benefit of everyone, so that all are included and everybody shares the resources of this nation that God has blessed us with. And once again, I pray that this time we allow the truth to direct us, the truth and Jesus himself, who is the way, who will ultimately give us life in abundance, that through his inspiration and through his presence with us, we will be godly and we will be faithful to our people and to each other. And all this with the blessings of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bishop Rochus Tatamai, President of the Bishops' Conference of Papua New Guinea and Solomon Islands. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being part of our program.